Anti-Vaxxers are not happy with shock jock Howard Stern. On his radio program Tuesday, he went after anti-vax nut jobs and even endorsed a vaccine mandate. Take a listen.
Yeah, he's dead. He no longer walks. There were three other guys, too. I don't have tape of all of them. And they're on the radio preaching this. I tell you what, as far as I remember, when I went to school, you had to get a measles vaccine. You had to get a mumps vaccine. You had to get, there was a ton of them you got.
You still have to. In order to go to school, you have to have certain vaccines.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? Them, freedom. I want my freedom to live.
Finally, somebody with a big platform said it. About time. About time. But yes, bring on the mandates. I am, for one, sick and tired of coddling dumb people. And understand that's what it is, too. See, all of us people who are vaccinated and who have done all the right things are now at the mercy still of a few dipshits. Okay, we're still having to wear masks because anti-vaxxers are still spreading COVID variants everywhere. And yes, it is still possible to get and spread COVID while you're vaccinated. But, and this is key, okay, you got to pay attention to the nuance, you got to pay attention to the facts, okay? And why vaccination is so important. If you get COVID and you have and you are vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized. You're not going to die. 97% of all COVID hospitalizations are among the unvaccinated. 99% of all deaths are among the unvaccinated. We should not, as a country, be forced to carry your asses. And that's the thing. Your decision, your freedom, so-called, affects me. If it didn't, I wouldn't care. I'm out of empathy for y'all. But it does affect me. It does affect our families. It does affect our communities. And Stern, of course, goes into how it affects people. He said, the other thing I hate is that all these people with COVID who won't get vaccinated are in the hospitals clogging it up. So, like, if you have a heart attack or any kind of problem, you can't even get into the ER. And I'm really of mind to say, look, if you didn't get vaccinated and you got COVID, you don't get into a hospital. Go fuck yourself, he said. You had the cure and you wouldn't take it. So, all right. He's right, generally. Now, let me just correct him because, you know, I care about facts. The vaccine isn't a cure, it's prevention. And that's what the vaccine's supposed to do. It's supposed to prevent you from either getting COVID-19 or developing severe illness and hospitalization from COVID-19. And so that's the goal, to make sure that people don't get so sick if they do happen to have a breakthrough case, which happens. It is rare. I think approximately 1 out of 5,000 people who are vaccinated do develop symptoms of, you know, just to show you where the numbers are at. This is according to some recent studies that come out. But it's to prevent people from getting so sick that they clog up the hospitals. That's why we should have mass vaccination. That's why we should have mandates. So he's right, and that all of these people, they chose not to get it, and oh, look at that, they're dying. Weird. Oh, weird how that works out. Now, he mentioned all the conservative radio hosts who wrote about not getting the vaccine, and a lot of them are dead. Well, again, weird how that works. It's almost as if they, you know, tempted fate by not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing to protect themselves and their family and the people around them, and then they died. Weird. Weird. And look, these people had big platforms. They told their listeners all the reasons that they said to not get the vaccines, put out massive disinformation. And again, now because of that, we do have the Delta variant. We have the Mu variant now that's in Florida that has just been detected. And so as a result, we have clogged hospitals and continue to have to deal with COVID-19 for far longer than any of us ever wanted to. And trust me, nobody ever wanted to have to deal with this. So yes, 100% with Howard Stern on the solution, bring in the mandates already. It's time. It's time. So now, there's one person, well, there's a lot of people that aren't happy about this, but one person who's pretty prominent on social media is Tim Pool. So Tim Pool is the man behind the beanie. Or maybe Tim Pool is the beanie, and the rest of him is the beanie's meat vehicle. I can't tell which, you know what I'm saying? We'll never know the truth. Like, who's really control, the beanie or the man? But anyway, he tweeted, Howard Stern is such a loser. Oh, well, that's your response. Yeah, what a loser. So no factual information, no rebuttal of the points, no anything, no argument, just ad hominem. Smart, big brain take. In fact, I got another big brain take from him. He followed it up by saying, about an hour later, so it took him an hour to come up with this, every year, 659,041 people die from heart disease in the U.S. We need to shut everything down, restrict people's access to unhealthy foods that may contribute to heart disease, and put everyone on heart medication, especially children. We must ban smoking, ban obesity, ban unhealthy food, force people to exercise, and require medical screenings, checkpoints, and heart medication. Black men are disproportionately affected by heart disease, so the issue is systemically racist too. So, all right. Now, some of the statistics that he rattles off are correct. Yes, heart disease is a major issue. In fact, before COVID-19 was the #1 cause of death early in the pandemic, well, you know, heart disease was, I think, the #1. Now, there's a critical difference, though, between COVID-19 and heart disease. For one, heart disease is not infectious. You can infect someone else with heart disease. It's not a contagious virus. All right? And for me, like, all right, look, I don't really give a fuck if you sit at a Denny's and eat like 20 burgers in one sitting. Hell, pop open a jug of lard while you're at it and just go. Yeah. America, lard. Side of bacon. God bless. It's America. Fuck yeah. But, and here's the thing. If you do that, well, for one, it's going to affect you. You are probably going to get heart disease, if not from a heart attack, but it doesn't affect me. You getting a heart attack in the middle of a Denny's does not affect me. And here's an added bonus, right? An added fact. Hospitals were never jam-packed with heart disease patients, unlike what's going on with COVID-19 right now. So such a baby-brained, just stupid take. Probably the worst. And this guy has millions of subscribers. How? How, when you have such dumb, uninformed, stupid-ass takes? Again, like, this is piss brain shit. Like, the guy's got nothing in there but the beanie. There's a beanie inside the beanie. It's beanieception in this guy's head. He's so fucking dumb. Jesus Christ. But, all right. More. Okay. So, like I said, to kind of expand on this analogy, I can't get heart disease if somebody sits next to me and eats steak at the restaurant, okay? But if they're not vaccinated, guess what? You can still get COVID. I'm vaccinated. I have a much lower risk of getting the virus, even lower risk of serious illness and death. But right now, there are still immunocompromised people who, yes, are even vaccinated, but still, it's not as effective in immunocompromised people. Now, they're still more protected than they were if they didn't have the vaccine, but they're still also vulnerable, and you have kids under 12 that are also vulnerable. Right now, the trials for, children, the safety of children taking the vaccine is still ongoing. And so it's not approved for them yet. So now, even if I do get sick or get coronavirus or even if it's like, you know, I'm exposed to it and I, you know, am asymptomatic, which does happen in certain people, that it's really kind of a crapshoot, or, you know, like a rolling the dice on this one, whether or not you're going to get terrible consequences of that, because we've seen supposedly healthy young people in their 30s get coronavirus really, really badly and even die as a result of complications or be intubated and things like that. So it is dangerous, right? And so, again, that's why you take the vaccine. Now, the odds are low, but I still have a small chance, even being asymptomatic, of spreading COVID-19. Again, much, much lower than if I was unvaccinated. So understand that there is nuance in this, and you have to have a little bit of an understanding of, okay, how these things work, and, you know, small chances versus large chances, and the percentages and things like that. Okay, so now, if that same person, instead of me being there and being vaccinated, say somebody else was there and they're not vaccinated, and they're in restaurants with other unvaccinated people, and they've got COVID. Well, as a result of that, there's going to be more COVID-19 infections. Why? Because there's a higher chance of spreading it, obviously, higher chance of people getting ill, and much higher chance of those people being hospitalized for that illness, or even dying, which again gets to Stern's point. And so that's why I agree with him. You got to have the mandates. So now Tim Pool, look, I said he's a piss brain. I kind of take that back, because he's not dumb. He acts dumb, and there's a point to his acting. He's a grifter of the highest magnitude. So, you know, of course, what he does is that he jumps into the headlines. He even trended on Twitter today. His entire focus, remember, is to try to get himself out there. It doesn't matter what kind of piss brain hot take he puts out there and how little thought he goes into putting out a tweet. He just types something random, whatever, puts it out there in the ether. It's, you know, hot takes here. Get your hot takes from Tim Pool. The hottest takes, the nuclear hot takes. And that's what he does. And that's how he got famous, by getting out in front of everything. And of course, his right-wing audience eats it up. And it is hilarious how he calls himself a disaffected liberal. But again, this is part of the grift. And going far right, it makes you money. Especially if you claim to be on the left or formerly of the left, a la Dave Rubin. That gets you a gigantic following, and it gets you a lot of money from right-wing think tanks like Koch Industries, or I should say, you get money from Koch Industries as well as the think tanks that they fund. And so that's how you make money. That's how you make money. As long as you're willing to sell your soul and actually don't have any principles, you can make a lot of money. And again, it's easy for Tim because he has no principles at all. And he is a more successful Dave Rubin. He's got high-level ideas. My brain's in recovery mode. Now, let me give you some quotes about Tim Pool from people who worked with him. Coward, phony, a joke, staggeringly arrogant, totally full of shit, not smart, and a bumbling doofus. Hey, look, that's just people who work for them. Just saying. So yeah, I'll take Howard Stern's opinion. As problematic as Howard Stern has and can be, certainly, he's right about this. And I don't care who says it. If you're right on the facts, you're right on the facts. Because guess what? They don't care about your feelings. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.